I want you to picture this. Imagine you are a goat herder from Eastern Turkey. You're a nomad shepherd herder from East Turkey, and you've been living in the United States since 1994. You came to the US to learn English. You took some business classes. Then you worked on a farm. You tried to open a feta cheese factory. That didn't work out. But you say, I've been working with dairy my whole life. I can't just quit now. And so imagine this, and you're this person. And so you get a small business loan so you can buy a factory, an 84-year-old factory, and turn it into a Greek yogurt plant. And now after working on this yogurt for 2 years, after acquiring the factory 2 years ago, working on this yogurt for 2 years, you're about to launch it. You're about to launch the Greek yogurt product. That's where we are now. It's 2000, the year is 2007. You acquired the factory in 2005. Only issue is you don't have money for advertising. You don't have money for marketing. What do you do? How do you get people to see this? How do you get people to like this? And that was where Hamdi Ulukaya stood in 2007. Hamdi is the founder of, so this was his Greek yogurt, and he decided to name it Chobani. Before this point, Greek yogurt was seen as a specialty food. It was sold in specialty stores, and it was sold in the luxury aisle. And yogurt, also the packaging, it was eaten in these narrow cups. And so here is what Hamdi does. He has no marketing budget, but he does have a branding budget. And I think that's relevant to so many people. Many people don't have a budget for media buying today. You can't just most people, they can't go spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars buying ads on Facebook or on Google or on Twitter. But they can work on their brand, and they can put together some nice guerrilla marketing tactics. They can do things that the big people are not doing. And this is what Hamdi did. He made, instead of having his containers be thin like what all the yogurt people were doing, he made them wide. He made the Chobani cases, he made them wide. Instead of selling in specialty stores and luxury aisles like the other Greek yogurt brands were doing, Hamdi sold them in mainstream stores and dairy aisles. And that was one of the biggest things that he did. He went where the other people were not, and he actually niched up. Most people, they niche down. And in this case, it was a differentiator to niche up. There's so many things that are really special about Chobani's story and about Hamdi, because not just was he this shepherd, this immigrant shepherd marketing business genius who came to the US to learn English, but after Chobani found product market fit, Hamdi did a ton right that a lot of other people would not have done. They never took any funding. He never fundraised. $1 billion in sales in 5 years, 100% independent. People didn't believe in him. So many people didn't believe in him. People kept saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And today, Chobani is a global player, has more than 20% of the US yogurt market. That's insane. And, you know, they bought this factory. This factory was an 84-year-old factory from Kraft. It was owned by Kraft, and Chobani and Hamdi was able to hire back some of the people right away with a small business loan that he cobbled together. He got I think it was a 700,000. Yeah, it was. So the factory was 700,000. He needed 300,000 to start it. And right. And so he had to put together a business plan and come up with 10% of the funding himself. So he had to actually, that was some fundraising, but it was really just like, I think it was just loans. And then the bank would give him a 40% loan, and the Small Business Administration gave him 50%. So he purchases this plant in 2005. And with this initial money, with this initial capital, he's able to hire some of the people who got, because the Kraft factory was closing. So he hired, I think, 5 people from that. And there were 55 people there. And as Chobani scaled, he was able to hire most of them back. And he liked to keep it really simple. He liked to keep the way that he ran his business. Just so much of this story was great. The way that he kept his business, he kept it really simple. He believed that there was a lot of unnecessary noise in boardrooms. That was something that he would say. He was hands-on. He was working in a factory. I mean, he tried operating a feta cheese plant before this. He actually, right before this, it was 2 years of it was 2 of the hardest years in his life where every day was difficult, because he had also gotten a loan to get a plant, and he tried opening a feta cheese plant. Remember, this is a animal herder from Turkey, and this is what he's familiar with. And the feta cheese plant, it doesn't work out. Every day sucked for 2 years. And he said, instead of like saying, I'm going to just like quit and get some job, he said, no, this is what I know how to do. I'm going to give it a second shot. I think I have all this industry experience now. It would be a shame if I quit. I'm going to give it another go. And I think a lot of other people, they would get demoralized by this failure. They would quit. And he did not. And it was a year later that he got the funding for the plant that turned into the factory that turned into Chobani. And so, you know what else is crazy? So when Chobani starts blowing up, private equity, they're all over him. They want a piece of this business. They want him to just like grow it really big and sell in 5 years. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to have a sustainable business that's great for people, where he just brings a lot to the world. And his bankers had been watching him grow. And so he was able to keep getting bank loans. And then eventually just got a big syndicate of banks, and he's never taken any funding. The guy now, so Hamdi Ulukaya starts as a shepherd nomad in East Turkey. Chobani, by the way, is Turkish for shepherd. He starts as a shepherd nomad in East Turkey. Now he's worth $1.9 billion. And I just like I said, there's so much of this story that I love. I really love what he did with the marketing, because he was in the space for a long time. He was able to identify a gap in the market. And let's not even like the risks that he took, like inspiring to get there, getting the loans, putting in the years of effort, because he believed that he knew the market. He was able to pay himself, so that's important. And he was working hard. So all of that, just disregarding all of that, just looking at like what he did with the market. He saw this gap in the market, and he went and did creative things in order to fill it. Something else I didn't even mention is so another big thing that they did, it wasn't just the packaging, it wasn't just the dairy aisle. They really believed in their product. And very few people had tasted something like Chobani at this point. Years is 2007. No one really in the United States is really familiar with Greek yogurt. People are not familiar with it. And what he does is he goes hard with free samples. So they start at the store in Great Neck, Long Island. And he's giving out free samples. And then when they start to get big, and they got big really fast because people liked the product. He believed in the product. He said if people could only see this, they would want more. Great Neck, by the way, it's Google is saying it's a village on Long Island. I've heard of it because I'm from New York City. I didn't know how small it is. It literally, Google says village on Long Island. So that's where they started selling. That's where he tried. He started small. He started small and was able to validate here and then slowly grow. And so they invest right away into a truck to give out samples because he believes people want this, but they can't even comprehend what this is. This isn't bottom of funnel marketing. You know, I had another episode on the marketing funnel. Bottom of funnel marketing, that's like someone knows what they want. They just don't know the brand that's going to give it to them. In this case, this is top of funnel because this is exploratory. People don't even know that they want this, but the product is so good that the product moves them down the funnel. I mean, there's also the branding involved as well, the packaging, which they put a lot of effort into, but that's part of the product that moves them down the funnel. And so he invested in free samples really heavily, but he also, he found something. He had a theory that people wanted this, and he made it look really nice and legit because that was an inexpensive way to do marketing. And it did really well. We did that ourselves. I talked on another episode. Me and my friends, we invented play to earn in crypto. We made the first play to earn game, the first game in blockchain where you can battle monsters. It's like Pokemon where you can make money, basically. And we saw an opportunity. This was December 2017. And we're like, oh, we think people are going to want this. And we worked feverishly. We slaved to make a beautiful website to sell these monsters, and the market responded really positively. They hadn't seen anything like this, and we had very unique branding, very professional branding. We put our faces on it as well, which was professional as well, and a lot of blockchain projects hadn't been doing that. They were anonymous. We wanted to show like, hey, we're real. Here's who we are. You can look into our backgrounds, and the project looked really nice. And it was a type of thing where it's just we needed to get it in front of people and they would buy right away. We needed to get it in front of people who are in crypto and blockchain. They would buy right away because they recognized that they wanted it. They just needed to see it. And it was the same with Chobani. And then when we did that, we made $500,000 in our first 48 hours of launch and $1 million by the end of that month. And Chobani sold literally a week later. When they needed to resell to the grocery store in Great Neck, Long Island that they had sold to, because they had gotten it so right. The market wanted this. And it took this guy, Hamdi, he invested hard into building a moat, into getting another factory. He loves his employees. He gives a profit share to his employees. He seems like a very altruistic person, but this also drives employees to do great work. And so he actually was able to get a moat And I think it was years before competitors came in, and Chobani is a leader. I love Chobani. Chobani is a great brand. They make terrific Greek yogurt. So that's what I was looking at today. I was looking at the story of sorry, my headphones fell out. I was looking at the story of Hamdi. I made a TikTok about it. I'll probably make more TikToks about it because there's so much. There's so many gems in this, and I'm sure I'm gonna revisit. I'm gonna revisit his story and his lessons and talk about it. I'll give credit to my friend Hiroom from Meta, and we had drinks yesterday. He is making a blockchain ticketing platform. He's doing really well. And I asked him right before I left him. He used to work at Meta. Oh, he shared with me. I wanted to share this. The Meta engineer salaries are wild because a starting Meta engineer makes $250K a year in salary, or in total comp. I think it's total comp. And if you're a director of engineering, you make $2 million a year, I believe, $2 million. And the downside of this is when you start out, you need to be promoted every 2 years or else you get fired. So it's pretty crazy. But they just really want the best talent. And he taught me that. But he told me about, before I left him, I'm like, hey, do you know any inspiring entrepreneur stories? Because I'm doing these 1-minute bios on TikTok. I want to feature more people. And he said, yeah, this guy, Hamdi Ulukaya from Chobani. And this guy's story really it's a good story. I'm going to talk about him more. I love the marketing element. I really do believe that there's opportunities like this all over the place. And Hamdi saw it and he went for it. So yeah, this is a great story. I think this is episode, what are we on? Are we on episode 27 of The Edward Show? Oh gosh, episode 27. Let me give you some real quick things about Hamdi's life. I'm gonna give you some real quick things about Hamdi's life, and then I'm gonna go. Then I will talk to you tomorrow. But here's some quick things. Okay, the guy comes here when he's 22 years old. He comes to the United States when he's 22 years old. Studies English. 25, he's taking a few business classes, working on a farm as well. 30, he takes out a small business loan to open this feta cheese plant. The plant barely breaks even. And Hamdi says it's like 2 of the most excruciating years with the most challenging days in his life. But at this point, he doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. He's like, I have enough industry knowledge. I might be able to get this right the second time. And at 33 or 3 years after that first failure, he does it again. He gets out another loan to convert this 84-year-old craft factory into a Greek yogurt plant. 35 years old, he launches Chobani, takes off. All right, this is episode number 27 of The Edward Show. This is a nice episode. I think this is a good episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'm very excited. Because I get to talk to you again tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. So I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.